Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maximo and I'm here checking out... What the hell is this game named again? It's so weird. Dead Ahead Zombie Warfare, thank you. So, this... Oh man, that was stupid. This is a... It's a strategy game that was originally ported from the mobile phone platform that they want you to pay $20 for. I did, because I couldn't actually find a press email for the people who made this, and I wanted to get the video done as soon as humanly possible either way. So, unfortunately, I kind of had to spend the money. Unfortunately, it didn't go as badly as I thought it would. It's not something that I would outright recommend, but at the same time, it's actually better than you might expect. So, the game, I haven't played the one on Android. I haven't played the original. But I have been playing this one for a while, and what I can say so far is that at least up to stage 3, which is what I'm up to, and there are 7 stages overall that you unlock by getting stars on the stages. If you can't tell just by looking at the screen, you get more stages, more levels and all that, and since I'm currently up to stage 3, I thought that was good enough. If we have a look at the journal over here, you can see that I've been playing for nearly 2 hours, which... Trust me, for this game, that's enough. You'll understand what it is once I start playing it. There are a few things we can do out here. You saw me get a little blue star thing earlier. That's basically what happens when you beat a level. It unlocks all the spaces around it for exploration, and you'll be able to do things like unlock new levels from that, and also find things like caches over here. You pick them up, and they go to your shop tab. Let's go to the shop tab now. You use either the shoulder buttons and the X button to navigate that menu down there, or you can use the touchscreen. But the interface in this game is surprisingly small for no reason whatsoever, so you kind of have trouble doing that with just your fingers. So we go and open some caches. Thankfully you get heaps of these throughout the game. They're more than happy to just hand them over more or less freely. And you can also buy them for like next to no in-game currency in the in-game shop. But you do have things like microtransactions going on, so you can see that you get like tons of coins, a bunch of caches, and some unique units, which is kind of annoying in all honesty, but at the same time, at least so far it hasn't made me want to buy these just because I haven't been able to advance fast enough. You can also come down here to buy gold and caches, and it costs about like $10 to get the 25 ones, but as I said, you don't really need them. At this point, they've been handing them out like candy. Although, who knows how long it'll take to change if that ends up being a thing that needs to change. So you got 2 different ways of upgrading your general gameplay, I should say. The first is actually really simple. It's just a van, or a bus, I should say, that you can put stuff on. I don't actually have anything to put on right now, but you can see that I've got 3 items here, and if I remove this one, for example, it gives me a little bit less durability. It's not really that much to write home about. You upgrade your bus as you level up, and that means you can go about upgrading the troops that are on it, which is where the majority of the upgrading stuff comes in. So you got your battle deck here, and your battle deck has all the dudes that you've been using so far. I am going to re-equip this. I don't know why it got unequipped as I closed and reopened the game again. I thought I'd be able to go back to some sort of main menu, but there is actually no main menu, which is a little odd, but we'll work with it. So, you've got a bunch of different dudes that you can hire for money and swap in and out of your battle deck. You've also got things that are utilities. So I've got barrels, one of which does fire damage, and a health kit, and I've also got a Molotov in my main thing here. These items are very easy to upgrade. They just cost money, and their maximum level is regulated by what level your truck is. Then you've also got your actual dudes here. Also, yeah, my battle deck is way out of whack. Let me just get the policeman back up here, because I know I had him here. Yeah, that's about right. But yeah, you can also buy people using money. So if I just come down here, you can see 170. I don't really have the money to spare on her. And you unlock more as your player rank goes up. There's actually a ton of dudes and different utilities you can unlock, which is nice. So if I select one of these dudes, I'm going to select my redneck, because he's the base unit. He's also the one that costs the least, so he's very useful for getting out nice and early. You can upgrade them using 3 different sets of items. You have to have all 3 of these items in order to do a successful upgrade. Just putting them in here isn't going to do anything. So if I put in a flask, a blood bag, and a radio, it'll increase his health by 3, his attack by 3, and his luck by 1. You get these 3 items via beating levels, and via opening caches. And you can go through levels again and again and again in order to earn money for this sort of thing. So I can actually just upgrade him right now. And I need to upgrade my bus even further to get him further than that. And the only other one who I can upgrade right now is Glenn, who, yes, that is a Walking Dead reference, or at least I'm pretty sure it is anyway. So you can choose your different items. These different items actually sell for more on the black market. You can also take these items and craft them into higher quality items with a fair bit of extra money, but honestly, I don't really see the worth in that. You might as well just upgrade your dudes. And there is the trader, as I said. That's where you go to both buy stuff and craft it. You can also sell stuff. And as you can see, he also sells caches. And, well, trust me, let's go back to a level that I've already beaten. So say I pick this level here, I get 60 for finishing it. So I could have another cache within 2 levels. And if you go back to a level that you've already beaten previously, well, there you go. It's actually pretty easy to do. So let's go to a level I have actually beaten previously and, well, just have a go, honestly. No reason not to at this point. So if we hit start, we'll get dropped straight into the level. After a few seconds of loading time. There we go. So, here's how this game works. It's basically a real-time strategy. Well, it's not a real-time strategy game. You're not controlling your units per se, but you are, what's the word I'm looking for? You are ordering them out. If you've played Yakuza 6 in the past few weeks, it's basically like that game's clan creator, more or less, right? So the general idea is that, oh my god. Okay, let's get a shotgun dude out there just so my thing doesn't get blown to shreds. So the general idea is that you control when you send your dudes out, and they more or less act under their own power, and they have their own individual abilities. Like, just to outline the dudes I've got here. The redneck is really basic, and he's basically just a melee attacker. The policeman is a shotgunner, so is the guy I've got there, who's just slowly walking towards, following the rest of my dudes. And I've also got, I forgot what his name was now, bloody Glenn, and his special ability is that he can come back once from death. So you also have your utilities. You earn rage by killing dudes that are highlighted in red, and once you have killed them, you get to use your blood level that you get from buying the you get to use your blood level that you get from killing them to use utilities. So it costs like 15 blood to use a Molotov cocktail, which I didn't actually get to do in that stage, but oh well, not that big a deal. That's the basic gist of it. Your water, which you use to summon out your dudes, replenishes over time. You can also find them in, let's not do a nightmare stage. I want to look somewhat competent. Alright, let's do a hard stage. Why not? But yeah, you earn water over time. You can also earn it because some enemies will drop it. You also earn blood by killing certain zombies. And you earn money as well by finishing stages, and some enemies can also drop it. It looks like we've got a little bit of a problem here. Thankfully, the new monster thing over there on the top right is peeped up, and this is a very powerful zombie, and the hook on its crane sometimes protects it. Okay, that's going to be a little bit tough to deal with. Oh well. We do actually have consumables as well. This is the, oh my god. Okay. You got your consumables. They do come alongside, jeez Louise. They do come alongside, what's the word I'm looking for? Things and stuff. They do come in caches, is what I'm trying to say. Good god. The amount of damage this thing can take is ridiculous. Alright, let's try this again. This is just getting silly. I haven't actually played this level yet, so I don't know what the deal is with this. But, yeah, so it's pretty simple to understand. You just try and survive for as long as possible, and you do as much damage as you can in the meantime. Let's use this Molotov cocktail and do some fire damage to this dude. That didn't help much. Must have threw it a little bit too far forward. The controls for using utilities in this game are really fucking weird, and I don't know why. But, anyway. Yeah, general idea. You get the general idea. It's basically just try and defend your truck and stuff for as long as you can. And that barrier over on the right there is your barrier to entry. You more or less just have to destroy that thing in order to finish the level. It is, of course, never that easy. So there are a few things that I haven't really pointed out yet. There are a couple of neat things, like for example, when your units die because they're humans, they will actually revive as zombies and become a bit more trouble for you, which is actually a really nice touch. There's also a bunch of other things involved as well, like there's tons of little like hidden caches that you can find in the background of the there's a bunch of hidden caches that you can find in the backgrounds of the stages, which is actually kind of cool because they have there are these like little cars or stuff, and if you drop things like barrels on them, they'll do they'll just spit out their thing, and they might even do something along the lines of what's the word I'm looking for? They might even spit out another enemy for you to kill, which would be a really bad sign and all that. And there are a few other things, like if you spend too long on a level, they'll eventually send out a giant wave of zombies to do tons of damage. Like as you can see on the right there, it's just spawned up a little timer. But other than that, there's not really that much else to it. I mean, you can use consumables if you like, and obviously the variety between all your dudes, there's all my items I get for finishing the level. But yeah, all the variety between your dudes will help you out. Apparently I've got 3 stars for that, which is kind of neat, I suppose. But outside of that, there's not really that much else to it. It really does feel like a mobile game. But at the same time, just because something feels like a mobile game, feels like it was designed for mobile, doesn't make it a bad thing by itself. And to be fair, for the 2 hours that I've been playing this, I have actually really been enjoying it. Like, it's a pretty simple concept, I know, but I'm actually relatively impressed with it. I quite enjoy it a lot. And it's 97 stars, really? That's a lot of stars. We'll try a nightmare mission. We'll see how badly I get creamed, and then we'll move on to the 3rd stage, because there's actually something there that's kind of neat, and I would like to show you it. But yeah, it does feel like a mobile game, and if you don't like mobile games just in general, like you've played them and you hated literally everything about them, I can understand why you would want to avoid this one. But at the same time, the concept is pretty engaging. You're constantly getting things like new items and stuff to help you along, right? And you're always going to have, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, my head hurts a little today. You're always going to have a new level to do, or a new unit to unlock, or all of those different kinds of things, right? Oh, Jesus, that sucked. And it looks like we've got a bunch of bulletproof dudes here as well, which isn't going to help matters at all. Bloody boomers, I swear. Oh, here they all come, right? They weren't kidding when they said nightmare, were they? Let's see, we got a sapper, a slow but nearly invulnerable zombie, and an armored skeleton. Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. That doesn't sound good at all. But yeah, the whole strategy side of it is still pretty engaging. It's the same reason that, oh dear. Yeah, we lost that level pretty much immediately, and I don't think we stood much chance of doing much better, as you can see by the gigantic hordes over there. Alright, we'll go to stage 3, and we'll show some off there. But yeah, the concept of just making sure that your dudes are all alright, and you do have the ability to pull out like a med kit from time to time, and you do have the different supplies you can use and what have you. It all keeps it relatively interesting. And thankfully all the stages are really short, so if you're getting a bit sick of it, you can just put it down and come back to it later. Alright, let's try this new stage up here. I'll probably screw it up like I did the last one, but, well, we'll wait and see. There are a couple of things that do kind of get on my nerves about it, though. For one thing, the fact that your water starts at 0 every time and just slowly counts up means that you kind of have to start every level in the same basic way. You have to put out a random redneck in order to make sure that you aren't going to take any damage to your bus right away. And then you have to wait for everything else. And unfortunately, if you have to keep sending out rednecks like I have to here for whatever reason, they are kind of a bit of a pain. However, you might have noticed that there is actually a little bit of a difference with some of the enemies going on here. We are actually fighting other humans, which is a neat twist, considering. Because we are actually fighting, like, what's the word I'm looking for? We are fighting, actual humans. And they do turn into zombies when they die. It's a clever little thing. I'm actually kind of... I wasn't expecting this twist, I'll put it that way, and I'm actually quite enjoying it for that. It does keep bringing out all these tiny little things about it, like these little bits of flavor and little neat ideas that make me enjoy it all the more. Like, when you get to 100, I have shown this off already, 100 Fury, which is the blood. When you get to 100 Fury, you get to use a gigantic machine gun. They don't tell you about this until you actually use it. But it's kind of great that it's there, too. And there's another little thing I like as well, like the what do you call them? The robbers, I think that's what they call them in this game. Is, they actually try and fight the zombies as well, so it's kind of like a three-way battle going on. You're trying to get to the roadblock, they're trying to get to you, and the zombies are trying to get everyone in sight, and you're both trying to get the zombies. So it just creates this neat little idea. And... I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I just think it's neat. I think they've done a good job with giving it a little bit of extra depth, while also not being absolute dicks about the fact that this is a mobile port, and they haven't done anything in the way of, like, make it so that I feel like I've had to buy something so far. I don't know if that's going to change. You never know with these sorts of games. It could be another hour in or so, but first impressions... being what they are, it seems to be doing a pretty good job of that, especially since I can buy the caches, which is what they've, since I can buy the caches by basically only doing, like, 2 levels, which is, like, 5 minutes worth of grinding, at most, and the fact that I haven't needed to yet is what I really want to, bring attention to here. That's the good part. That's what I want to say. The game does have some expensive stuff, and it does have microtransactions, but I haven't felt like I've needed to use them yet. And while this game does cost 20 bucks by itself, I can understand why you'd be a little bit wary of that. But at the same time, I don't think it's that big an issue. Would I pay 20 bucks for this if I had to get it again? Hell no. But if it went down to like 10 bucks on sale, I'd find it quite hard to say no to it, just because it's got decent balance, good variety, and it's got a lot of neat little touches and neat ideas that I really like in this sort of game. And it's surprisingly fun. That's all that really matters, right? I'm actually having a good time. I usually don't have a good time with the mobile games. But this time I'm actually like I'm enjoying myself a bit, which is really nice. There are a couple of other things, like you see there that guy's got a symbol above his head like that. That means he got lucky. You can upgrade troops' individual luck, and if they come out lucky, they'll do more damage and last longer. So if a lucky dude comes out, you kind of want to dedicate a bunch of resources to keeping his ass covered, because he can actually do a fair bit more damage than most of your dudes. And just, yeah, little things like that. But, I mean, they also do something a little bit weird that's a little bit mobile gamey that a lot of people won't like. And they have this little thing that comes up in the top left that says, if you like this, please be sure to rate it. And the funny thing is, you can't actually rate games on Vita anymore, so there's absolutely no point in having that message. I know that's probably meant for, like, PlayStation 4, and they just forgot to take it out on this one, but I just thought that was worth mentioning. Yeah, see, there he is right there. I can prove my point. Yeah, if you like our app, please take a moment to rate it. Watch this. See? There's no way to rate it. It's just gone. Also, apparently the Vita license has changed up, because now you can activate 3 Vitas on one thing. I didn't know that. Right, let's play another level, shall we? Not waste too much time, and I'll I'll use another consumable, because why not? You've already seen Fury, which basically means they do more damage. And the blue water bottle just makes water spawn and makes it regenerate faster. And this one just means that you can bring out dudes quicker after you send them out, but it doesn't actually help that much. Mainly because it doesn't really help that much. Mainly because you're not gonna have enough water coming in already in order to actually spawn a bunch of dudes. So unless you just want to spawn like a really big wave of unless you just want to spawn a really big wave of like rednecks, you're not really going to be doing much. It's a little confusing. Unfortunately, I don't. You know what? Fucking Fury. I'll drop a Molotov right here to do some burning damage to these guys. Oh, need to bring out a shotgun because that's a fast runner. And some free water. Awesome. So I can spawn a police shotgunner dude who does a bit more damage and can fire a couple of extra shots before reloading. Isn't going to help against that bulletproof zombie, which is why I want to bring out the builder guy as soon as I can. They do appear to be doing some damage to him, which is nice at least. Yeah, come on. Save those dudes. Oh, it looks like the Fury lasts until they die, which is kind of neat, actually. I was expecting it to expire along with them, but... oh well? I'll throw a Molotov in just to be safe. Unfortunately, that guy's not fire resistant. I do have a fireman that is fire resistant, and that would actually be pretty useful in this case. Come on, beat him senseless. There we go. We just got to get to the barrier, and we're not too far from it, so this shouldn't be too hard. And I'll just keep saving, I'll just save some Fury if they decide to try and just randomly overwhelm us, which does actually give our dudes, like, a negative buff. Then I'll have the machine gun ready to go just to be safe. But yeah, I am legitimately enjoying it. I mean, sure, there isn't really much to it other than send your dudes out and see what happens. So people who like more in-depth strategy games probably aren't going to get anything out of this one. But it's a nice game. I just wish they didn't charge so much for it. If they charged $10 for it, I'd be way more into that, just as an overall price than anything else, right? There is, of course, one other thing that I've neglected to mention, but hopefully you've been paying attention to the video itself and not me talking, because the game's performance is absolutely terrible at times. The reason why I haven't really brought it up until now is because it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. You don't really control your dudes. The thing you control the most of is where something gets dropped. And when the game slows down, it slows down the game's speed along with it. So you do end up in a position where it will, it'll make it easier for you just because it's moving slower. But at the same time, it does move really slow. Like, it's worse than Inksplosion, which I believe a video on that would have come out late last week, at least for you guys. I'm actually recording these two videos on the same day, just so I have more time to work on Flashpoint when I get the opportunity. What the fuck are these? Epidemiologist. An ordering zombie in a protective suit that can't be set on fire. It's actually pretty interesting. Alright, out you go, dude. Let's try and keep our trucks safe. I don't think stars actually mean anything outside of unlocking new levels and stuff, but... oh well, it's worth trying to, oh god, my dude just got poisoned. Okay, that's not a good sign. Alright, let's set this dude on fire. Because he is a bastard to deal with. I know this big bruiser dude. There are tons of different kinds of enemies as well. Like, there's a bunch that'll do extra attacks. There's a couple of different weird bosses. There's just some, you know, they're always introducing something new to keep you on your toes, which is nice. And considering how many stages there are in this game, I'm hoping that continues on towards the end of it. Because, to be fair, they've shown some pretty good creativity with... they've shown some good creativity with what they've been doing here, so... I would like to see where they take it. So yeah, there's, what's his face, oh no, he just fucking fell over and died, okay. It does definitely get repetitive after a while too, but then again, this is one of those mobile games where they want you to only play for like 5 minutes or so at a time while you're on the toilet. And while the game does allow you to play pretty much as you feel like, I probably still wouldn't recommend playing it much longer than like an hour at a time, just to be safe. Yeah, you can see the game struggling to keep up, and there isn't even really that much going on screen. I'm just going to keep a Molotov primed and ready to throw out at these dudes here. You can control all this with a touchscreen if you like, as I said before, but again, the interface is so bloody small that you really shouldn't bother. There we go. I get my free items. And that's pretty much it. There really isn't that much else to show you, so I might as well end the video off. While Dead Ahead Zombie Warfare is really expensive and the port isn't that great because it's pretty slow and sluggish and all that sort of stuff, the actual game that's under there is pretty good. Like, I'm actually enjoying myself a lot. I hope they keep that up. I hope they don't go too far into the asking for microtransaction stuff. But I have gotten a fair bit of the way in, and there doesn't seem to be anything to suggest that they're going to drop that sort of bombshell on me anytime soon. So, while it's not an outright recommended, like 20 bucks, if you can pick it up for 10, that isn't a very hard recommend to say at all. So, you know, if you're looking for something like this, go right ahead. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.